What's up, y'all? Yeah, Big Mike coming at you, man. What's today, man? Is it Sunday? Yeah, I believe it is Sunday. Yeah. Well, bruh, I gotta get back on here, man, and speak on the Tyre Nichols joint once again, man. I'm like seriously just flabbergasted at some of the takes that I'm hearing about the situation, man. I'm like, wow, man, motherfuckers is really reaching, man. They're really reaching, bro. You know what I mean? And make no mistake about it, man. When I'm speaking on this, man, I'm speaking as a goddamn expert in the situation, man. I am an expert on this. I'm an expert on use of force. I'm an expert on black culture, street culture, and whatnot, man. I'm an expert on all of this shit, man. So all of these takes that people giving, man, they pontificating on shit they don't know nothing about, man. That's damn show, man. That's damn show. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna react to one of the individuals that I listen to on a regular basis, man. And I believe he goes by Black Conservative Perspective. You know, he pretty much takes a lot of common sense, even keeled takes on things of a racial nature and on politics, man. I like his moderate stance, man. He's not too far right, not too far left. You know, it gives everybody a fair shake, man. He's very good at, critical analysis, man, critical thinking, man. Those are the people I rock with, man. No doubt, man. So without further ado, we gonna get into the shenanigans, bro. That's what we gonna do, man. We gonna speak on this. Big Mike gonna give his enlightening commentary as we go through it. No doubt. So let's go.
Talk about a fascinating political dichotomy involving a couple of takes on the Tyre Nichols killing. Okay, the black guy, the unarmed black man that was beat to death by 5 black police officers. Everybody has an opinion on that situation because it is tragic. It is probably the biggest news story that is out today. And of course, people are playing the blame game, right? In situations like this, everybody is going to try to point the finger at somebody or something that is to blame for why this happened. And one of the more interesting takes on this situation that I want to talk about is this idea that has been promoted by the left that what happened with Tyre Nichols is some form of white supremacy or systemic racism, or that somehow, some way, race is involved in this tragedy that happened. And again, these are the type of takes that left-wingers were putting out about this situation. Take a look.
I got a message today for some white people. If we have white people listening, paying attention, I wouldn't mind if you would do this with me. We rub our chests, we find our heartbeat.
The world has gone mad, Jack. I'm trying to tell you, man. The world has gone mad. We got these snowflakes out here. I'm trying to tell you, man. The fact that you can even fix your lips, man, and say something like it's the white folks' fault, man. Right then and there, man. So what you're basically telling me, man, is black folks don't have a mind of their own, man. I mean, they can't do anything without the consent or the consignment or the influence of white folks, man. Which basically is a backhanded slap, is a backhanded insult to black folks in general, especially black men. You're saying that black men don't have the agency to be evil on their own terms. And I vehemently disagree with you, man. Big Mike has seen plenty of evil from some niggas. So yes, he has. Yeah, but hey, let's go ahead. Let's proceed with this nonsense, man. See what these snowflakes got to say, man.
And we say, we did this. We did this.
Feeling mighty self-righteous, are we? Okay. We did this. We did the all-powerful white race did it. Yeah, man. Niggas can't make a move without white folks' influence. Let's go. Yeah, man. Oh, well, I was going to interject, man, but man, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what this beautiful young lady has to say with that bell pepper nose.
I think the second thing is what we're going to see is a lot of people now talking about, well, it was black officers, so see that they can be racist. See, it's black on black crime. And I want us to note that black people can be agents of white supremacy.
Yeah, this is why I don't listen to women talk, man. Yeah, most of the goofy ass takes you're gonna hear on here, man, is gonna come from some broads, man. Women are fucking hilarious, man. Let's go. Let's listen to this nonsense, man. Black folks participating in white supremacy.
That can happen. That's a fact. Black people, brown people can be agents of white supremacy. Trans folks can be agents of transphobia. LGBT folks can be agents of homophobia. Women can be agents of misogyny and patriarchy. Like, the people that's affecting can be agents of that. And this is what we saw with these black officers, is that because they were an officer, they thought that they got the benefits that white officers get.
Well, there is an element of that. Yeah, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'll be the first to admit, if you give a criminal a badge, you know what I mean, and a uniform, and he's pretty much feeling himself, right? But yeah, as far as white supremacy goes, man, these cats, they wasn't feeling themselves because they thought they were in the good old boys club, man, because, they got to powwow with white folks and they got to do what white folks do. No, man, they basically did what they did because they was brought up in nigga culture and they did what niggas do. They ride down on niggas and they get their thug on, man. It's just that simple, man. When I was sitting back and I was watching the footage of them jumping on Tyre, man, I was immediately having flashbacks of me being in junior high, getting jumped on by 10 or 15 bitch ass niggas, man. It had shit to do with no fucking white supremacy. It was just a bunch of bitch ass niggas with no heart, and they had to group up and they had to jump on Big Mike, man. Yeah. Where the white boys at, man? Where them rednecks at that influenced them niggas to do that shit to Big Mike, man? Couldn't find them. Nowhere to be seen. Nah, they were just hoe ass niggas, man. Why can't y'all just admit that? It was just some hoe ass niggas brought up in hoe ass nigga culture. And yes, they was brought up in a single mother, baby mama home, which did contribute to the bullshit, but here's the caveat of it, right? This is the part where a lot of you niggas, we gonna diverge, man. Yeah. Even though they was brought up by single mothers and it did attribute to their whole assness. But yet it's still the black man's fault. Black man, it's still your fault. You done let your neighborhood go to shit. You done let these black women, you done left them holding the bag. And these black women, they can't raise these boys, man. They can't reel and rein these Negroes in. They ill-equipped to do it, Jack. Please don't get on here talking about, I was raised by my mama and I'm all right, or I know this other dude and he was raised by his mama and he all right, and all of this bullshit, man. Let's talk about the rule and not the exception. Let's do that, man. Let's talk about the aggregate of what's the normal outcome of a young black boy being brought up in the inner city by a single black mother. It usually contributes to bullshit and chaos, man. I mean, it's obvious. I don't know how y'all can actually sit back and deny that shit. I mean, just look at the state of the black community. While yes, these cops, they were a product of a bitch ass culture where a lot of black men like to troop up, man, and ride down and jump on those that they consider prey. Yeah, when I saw that, man, when I saw what they was doing to Tyre, man, I mean, I immediately got flashbacks. I got goose pimples, man. Because I've been in that situation 4 or 5 times, man, with a whole bunch of dudes just riding down on me just for the fuck of it. Ain't got shit to do with no fucking white supremacy. This got a lot of shit to do with a daddy not being in the home and kicking off in that nigga's ass when he got out of pocket and leaving the mama there to deal with that bullshit. That's what that is, man. No. A whole nation of single black mothers, man, and, you know, they not gonna be able to deal with this, man. It's obvious they ain't gonna be able to deal with it. You see grown ass black men acting like they in fucking junior high. And the situation is magnified and exacerbated because they got a uniform and a badge. Oh, man. Let's go, young lady, with that beautiful bell pepper nose.
That they get that thin blue line?
Yeah, so I want y'all to understand what the left sees as totally rational and logical takes on this situation, right? That a mainly black police department being ran by a black woman and mainly black people, where you have an incident where 5 black police officers beat a black man to death in a majority black city, overwhelmingly black city. Somehow, some way, white supremacy and racism has something to do with it, right? That's to blame. Perfectly logical and a reasonable explanation from the left.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Hey, this is my partner right here, man. I fucks with this dude, man. Yeah, let's go, man. Let's get it.
They have no issues with it. However, when Jason Whitlock, right, went on Tucker Carlson and simply suggested that, hey, you know, maybe the black woman who's running the police department and single black mothers who are raising a lot of these, you know, young black men who eventually become criminals, maybe they should take some blame for this. The left loses their minds.
I would examine the racial element of this because there is a racial element. And this is a story about young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5 on 1. Look.
Right about now, hey, I finds no fault in what he's saying. Spitting truth, spitting facts right about now. Let's go.
Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all times because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what? This is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random white, this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Now, if you're talking about, you know, the police chief who's a black woman, a black female or whatnot, and if you're stating that these dudes was out of pocket because they were supervised by this black woman, by this black police chief, I would say, of course, that's silliness, that's nonsense. In a symbolic sense, yeah, I could see how you're using that as symbolism, right? But the overall theme of the situation, man, about why they acted out of pocket It no doubt goes back to the culture. No doubt goes back to their upbringing and shit, man. There's no doubt about that, man.
So yeah, y'all seen what he said, right? One second. Now, were these same men raised by single black mothers? I'm just trying to figure that out.
Black women in their infinite wisdom. Let us bow down to the almighty black woman in her infinite wisdom. Number one, man, this is apples and oranges, baby. It's apples and oranges. When you look at these four right here, and then you look at what them 5 brothers did, there ain't no goddamn comparison. I mean, there's only one cat on here that was actually truly on some bullshit out of pocket, man. There's only one cat out of this 4 that was actually on that bullshit out of pocket. The rest of them was just basically standing around and directing traffic and shit, trying to make sure that he didn't get his ass whooped from having his neck on having his knee on homeboy's neck. They didn't, man. They did, man. It's apples and oranges, man. The energy was totally different, bro. Energy totally different. Ask me how the fuck I know. Because like I said, I participated in use of forces. And I have been the victim of gang violence. So I know the energy, bitch. I know the energy. Yeah. Them 5 brothers, man, like I said, they acted like straight up fucking hooligans, man. There was no semblance of a use of force philosophy presented whatsoever. They rode down on Tyre like they was on some Crip and Blood shit, man. Now you look at these 4 white boys or Asian or whatever you want to call it, man. Yeah, there was some semblance. There was some of a use of force continuing and some professionalism. But there was one dude that took the shit too far, man. He fucked up. He fucked up royally. Man, you can't really compare, how these 4 got down versus those 5 brothers, man. Like I said, I got chills up my back, man, when I was watching that whooping, man. I was like, oh, Jesus. This is taking me back to high school, Jack. I didn't see any sort of semblance of professionalism whatsoever. What the fuck they was doing? None.
It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos.
The fact that he is...
Yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that. I agree with it in symbolism. You know what I mean? But I don't agree with it as far as I don't believe that they actually went off on that tangent because they was thinking that nothing's going to happen to them because they had a black woman police chief. I don't buy that. I don't believe that shit. But symbolism, I understand what he's talking about, man. I think he sees the irony of it, you know what I mean? Because these 5 cats who no doubt probably came from a single parent home, single mother home. And they no doubt probably came from gang culture or very familiar with gang culture. And in Memphis, that is no doubt the predominant culture. And they carried on like they didn't have no daddy in their life, man, because they didn't understand the slight concept of restraint and discipline. I mean, they just went buck wild, man, with the emotionalism, man. You know what I mean? And this is the kind of thing that you get when you raised in a home with no father.
Is allowed on television is wild. Did they run out of notable people to play the role of Uncle Ruckus or something? I don't get it.
So Jason Whitlock, and we already know what this character is about, decided to go on Fox News and give his 2 cents that no one asked for about Tyre Nichols' murder. This man had the audacity and the unmitigated gall to say it's what it looks like when young black men are supervised by single black women. The fuck This misogynistic asshole needs to go somewhere and sit all the way the fuck down. How dare he? So you come out here and make this horrible take about someone's child who was just murdered?
Yo, Jason Whitlock. I was raised by a single black mother.
Man, this nigga's a goober. I can already tell. Who is this dude, man? This dude a goober. Let's go.
The amazing, incomparable Miss Pauline Bowman. I now sit in the United States House of Representatives. I'm the first person of color and first black man in U.S. history to hold this congressional seat. How is this incident of police brutality, where 5 officers brutally beat and murdered an innocent black man, how is that the fault of single black mothers?
Once again, man, we talking about the rule and not the exception, man. Yeah, you're going to have exceptions to the rule, Jack. You're going to have exceptions to the rule. I know cats that's brought up in a single mother home and they all right. You know what I mean? But, man, look, you look at the overall prevailing culture of black culture and it's fucked up. And how did it get that way? The proliferation of single baby mama homes. But unlike most of these dudes out here, I don't place the blame of this ratchet culture on the females, man. The first mover, the first creator and builder of civilization is supposed to be the black man. He's supposed to be there to make sure that that don't happen. And since you failed to make sure that that don't happen, your children have become savages. You know what I'm saying? So, since we got cats out here that's, they definitely don't want to put the blame where it need to be. I mean, they only got the argument half right, man. Yes, single baby mama homes are contributing to the bullshit, man. When you don't have any sort of structure, you don't have any sort of guidance or discipline, a stern hand in the home to regulate these black boys, this is going to happen. And you will have exceptions to the rule. You're going to have goobers like this getting on talking about, see, I turned out to be all right. Man, let's go, man.
You must have lost your mind, man. You must have completely lost it. There's a lot more I want to say, but I'm going to keep it right there.
That's Jason Whitlock, and this is genuinely what he's been like his entire career. He said Colin Kaepernick wasn't black. He said that the people that spray painted the N-word on LeBron James's house a couple years ago, that wasn't racist. It was just a bunch of kids being stupid. He's called Black Lives Matter a hoax.
Where's the lie in that one right there? Black Lives Matter is a hoax. But as far as this Jason Whitlock character, man, I don't really know too much about him, man. I don't really know much about him, man. But like I said, he about 60% dead on, man, as far as I'm concerned with the shit that he's spitting right now, man. I give him that. I give him a 60 to maybe 70%. I'm in agreement with him.
He has underplayed police brutality, and if I'm understanding him correctly, he's essentially saying what happened to Tyre Nichols is a result of young black culture and single black mothers. What, Jason?
But it's the white man's fault, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People find that just totally beyond the pale. But, if we flip that and we switch that and we say, it's the white man's fault, even though everybody involved was black. Yeah, once again, we stating that, black folks are easily impressionable. They're fucking stupid. They can't make any sort of moves whatsoever without the sanctioning or the influence of their white masters, man. And no, I'm not buying that, man. No. Big Mike is his own man. And whatever I do because I choose to goddamn do it. Ain't got shit to do with no goddamn white man.
A special place down there for people like you. Man, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is quite literally one of the worst things I have ever seen and heard.
Yeah, so I want you guys to understand why I say this is an interesting dichotomy here.
Go ahead, preach.
It's because the left, they think that when you hear somebody come out here and they blame racism, white supremacy, the white man, right?
No doubt.
You know,
no doubt.
all the things they blame. They think that makes 100% sense, right? That makes sense, perfect sense, 100% completely logical. Even though the city is mainly black, it's being ran by black people. The police department is ran by black people. Everybody involved in this incident was black.
Yo, hey man, can't fix stupid, man. We talking about nigga logic here. Nigga logic, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't fix stupid, but let's proceed, bro.
But if you say it was the white man's fault, right, or it was racism or white supremacy, makes sense 100% to them. Jason Whitlock gives a take that I don't even 100% agree with, but I agree with some of what he's saying. He blames basically the woman running the police department, okay, and then he talks about culture, which, again, is a problem, okay? You could argue that the police officers that this Memphis the police department hired to be on this Scorpion unit, they probably were people. If they weren't on the police department, they'd probably be gangbanging or something, right? They be
yeah, pretty much. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like some gangbang shit, man. But yeah, you could blame the black woman, the black police chief, in a way, in a sense, because I mean she is in charge of the training of those police officers, man. And from the looks of it, those police officers, they had minimal training on what they were supposed to do in certain situations pertaining to use of force, man. I'm like, bro, what are they doing, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, they was definitely acting like one of them tactical units, man, that go into the worst spots of the city and just act the fuck up, man. They was acting up on a brother that, you know, that they didn't like the way he was driving, bruh. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and shine a light of scrutiny on that police department as far as their training is concerned. And if you're going to do that, yeah, you got to go to the top. You got to go to the police chief, man. Like, what kind of training, what sort of training are you giving these officers, man? Or maybe they did have the correct amount or sort of training, but their hood influences just took over once they formed up like Voltron, man. And they just started having flashbacks of how they got down, man, coming up in the hood, man. That's what it looked like to me, man. I mean, it just, once again, I'm telling you, man, I was having flashbacks, man, listening to these niggas talk and listening to how they getting down or whatever, man. They was just, they was doing the most. They was just getting ridiculous with the nigga shit, man.
He'd probably be in the streets, right? He made an argument that that's a part of it as well, too. He basically blamed black people, right? He blamed the people involved, and they lose their minds over that. Oh, I don't understand how you can blame that at all. I don't understand how you can come to that conclusion at all, right? But if you say it was the white man, though, that makes perfect sense, right? It makes perfect sense. No backlash. You're not upset. You're not mad and saying, wait, why are you blaming white folks when white people have nothing to do with this? But if you blame black people and everybody involved was black, right? Apparently,
man, look, this is what we dealing with, man. Understand this, man. When we dealing with black folks, we are dealing with a ratchet mindset, man. Once again, since we are dealing with a culture that was raised by black women, and we all know that women do not like to take accountability for anything that they goddamn do. This ain't misogyny. It's just what it is, man. Every time I've dealt with a woman, women do not like to apologize for their fuckery, and they do not like to acknowledge when they own some fuckery, man. You know what I mean? So not only is black culture on that, but actually this is the way of culture in America, period, right about now, with the elevation of women and female energy and shit. you're gonna see a lot of people who just they don't want to be accountable, man. They always want to explain away certain things and they want a finger point, man, but they never want to bring it right back to ground zero, which is the self. Yeah, man, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with ratchet, baby mama, black culture. But once again, who's to blame for that? The black man is to blame for that. You're supposed to stand in opposition to that and correct that. But no, not these days, man. We got niggas on some weak sauce, man, scared to step up and do what they got to do to enact that change.
That's off limits. Apparently, you're going too far. Apparently, Jason Whitlock is a sellout. He's a Tom. He's a this. He's a that. Again, it's just amazing how that works. What the left finds to be a logical, reasonable conclusion or take on a situation like this, if you're going to talk about race, blaming a white man is reasonable, but blaming black people is not. Now, again, I don't think that this situation really has all that much to do with race, right? I'm not blaming black people as a whole for why this happened, okay? I do think it is something to be said about the fact that, again, you have a mainly black city where the police department felt compelled to even have a unit like that, like the Scorpion unit, where basically these guys were allowed to, beat the shit out of people and ask questions later, right? Instead of ask questions and then, enforce the law. No, they were allowed to basically enforce the law and then ask questions, right? I think it's something to be said about the fact that they even felt the need to have that in the first place, considering how Memphis is probably one of the most deadly cities in the country, if not the most deadly and dangerous city in the country.
Man, I thoroughly and totally agree that you need a Scorpion squad, man. You're going to need that, man. You're going to need that, Jack. Man, when you go into the mouth of the lion's den, man, you're not going to be able to send no snowflakes, man. You're going to have to send some movers and shakers up in there to handle that business, man. But with that being said, they got to know when to turn it on and turn it off, Jack. You don't jump on somebody that you see that you don't like, how, they driving tactics or driving techniques, man. You don't do that shit to them, man. That's stupid, man. So let me just break this shit down, man. I think we've heard enough, man. Let me go ahead and bottom line, like I said in my previous video, man, what I seen from those officers, man, was the perfect example of how I grew up in black culture. Something happens to the Negro, man, once he troops up, man, once he gets in close proximity to like-minded goons, man. And forgive me if I insult y'all, man, when I say black culture, man. What I'm talking about is ghetto culture, man. That's what I was brought up in. So I full well know what I'm talking about, man. Those brothers was brought up in ghetto culture. They was brought up in Memphis, man. So whenever they got around like-minded goons, yeah, you had a mob mentality take place, irregardless of whatever uniform or badge they was wearing. That's true. That badge and that uniform exacerbated and made the whole situation worse. Yeah, they felt they had carte blanche to just kick off in anybody's ass at the drop of a hat. They got to whoop ass and ask questions later, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's definitely an energy here that you're not going to be able to get rid of, man. They got that hood energy, that goon energy, man. Which you can only get growing up in a ghetto. Which you can only get coming up in a single mother household. Because for the most part, if you got a daddy in the home, man, you're not gonna be reacting and doing shit like this, man. For the most part. There's exceptions to every rule. Don't be a dumbass, man. But statistics show whenever you got a daddy in the home, man, your children come out with a little bit more sense. They not as emotional. They not so quick to be irrational, man. Damn. So yeah, man, you know, all this, it was white supremacy and nah, man, you know, it's more so what Jason Whitlock was saying, man. They products of, you know, ghetto baby mama culture, man, which is basically the black man's fault because he's been too weak to step up to the plate and build something for black folks and build something for his offspring, man. He wasn't able to defeat the white man in this war of attrition for the minds and souls of his woman. Because you know what happens, man, when two tribes go to war, man, the tribe that's victorious, they conscript the losing tribe's women into their army. And then they use the women to basically subjugate the men of the losing tribe. So black man, you lost on that front, man. And you've been trying to figure out a way to shake that, man, and get out of that situation and predicament, man. But you're not going to be able to do it by sticking your head in the goddamn sand, man. You're not going to be able to do it, Jack. So once again, I'm going back to my military training, man. Listen to what my drill sergeant always told me. The maximum effective range of an excuse is 0 meters. You can try and excuse yourself all you want, man, but when you wake up from your dream, when you wake up from your delusion, your issue and your problem is still there. It ain't going nowhere, man. So yeah, man, this is more so a situation where black men who got the hearts and souls of criminals and thugs, man, to go along with a lack of training and a lack of supervision, took on the guise of law enforcement officers, man. Which is obvious. At their core, they are not. They are not in it to make the world a better place. They in it to just kick ass and take names and just be thugs, man. Shit. Oh yeah, I know. I know the energy quite well. I've been on both sides, man. I've been the one with the nightstick, and I've been the one on the ground getting my head kicked in by 10 bitch ass niggas, man. Oh, I know it. Ain't got shit to do with white supremacy, man. Got everything to do with bitch ass niggas being bitch ass niggas. That's all that is. Well, anyway, Big Mike Almighty Triple XL. Hoping that you enjoyed the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the realest out here. Ain't never going to get monetized. Ain't never going to have a big following. Never. But that's okay, because that just tells me I'm on the right track, Jack. Big Mike Mac City ain't never been for the masses. Ain't never been for the masses, man. We out.